IBP has a long history of working in Kenya on a wide range of budget issues with the aim of increasing public understanding of and engagement with budgets and budget transparency at both national and county level. In 2016, IBP Kenya began promoting a new approach to public engagement with budgets termed deliberating budgets. The approach is rooted in theories of deliberative democracy, which emphasize the importance of giving and debating reasons for the choices we make.
This project is simply improving public participation in Kenya by advocating for public deliberations. We are trying to stir within people the culture of giving reasons for our proposals. We are trying to make a case to the public and the government that for any meaningful discussions, we have to start giving good reasons.
Getting the public to understand what government does, to understand what government processes look like, and also to understand what is it that you need as a citizen so that you're able to engage better with your government. Now, it's not natural that that will happen, but that's where the civil society organizations come in and organizations that work in governance to kind of try and bridge that gap where gaps are noticed. The one thing that you hope is that the kind of knowledge they got today, the kind of engagement they got today will be useful for them in two ways. One, to push government to be able to do this kind of engagement with them, and secondly, for them to pull up the communities that they work with to be able to engage with government at a fairly reasonable level.
In the context of budget making, deliberation occurs particularly around the reasons for spending trade-offs, justifying why we are giving more to some sectors than others.
What do you think the sectors should get for the year 2018-19? If you were the one to make that decision, how would you apportion the budget to these sectors?
Okay, one, to me, there are so many issues that are underlying the current country, like the issue of security. We need to increase the budget of security from 10% to 20%.
If someone at the National Treasury disagreed with your answer, how would you explain the most allocation to security and health?
As Kenyans now, we have a lot of issues of security in our country, and most of them main focus now is security. Okay. And that is why I propose the security to be increased, because it's one of the top priority agenda.
Infrastructure is very important because it touches so many people in the society. For instance, if we have good roads, then the farmer will not suffer. If we have a good structure in learning institutions, children will not suffer and will produce more scholars to go and now come back and help. If we have good health facilities, we'll not have to go to India because we'll have good infrastructure around us. If we equip our children with the good learning gadgets and all that, then I think all will be well. If we equip our academic institution, higher learning institutions with state-of-the-art equipments, then we'll be growing the economy positively.
About the health sector, just the other day, we had issues with the doctors. Health has problems with paying the doctors, supply of medicine to the public hospitals. Hence, the poor are suffering, those who can't afford the private hospitals.
Referral hospitals and emergencies, which is not even used in 47 counties. Okay. So at least they can increase from 10% to 20%. And also, in addition, we have those issues that national government are linking to the county government, like the cancer machine, the other machines that are allocated to the counties, which all need a lot of resources.
I think the most important thing, we should be sensitized first, that we may know how these allocations are done and the reason why each sector is given the allocation. Yeah.
What does deliberation about the budget actually look like? Answers emerge from public deliberation forums conducted in 3 counties in Kenya, Mombasa, Isiolo and Nakuru in May 2017.
If the government feels strongly that certain sectors should get more money, they should be able to back it up by something. Is it statistics? Is it facts they're aware of? Is it the availability of funds? Why is it a priority? They should be able to answer those questions to the public. If the public feels otherwise, then they should be able to say, the reason we want to give more money or less money to sector A is because of this. So if we all have an appreciation that it's not just about being heard, it's about explaining why your argument or your opinion is important and helping other people to see it, that is what is important.
But we still have a lot of work to do in making sure that those public participation engagements are actually more efficient and they have an impact. And by impact here, I mean that whatever discussions that happens in those forums actually ends up influencing the budget.
Governance, Justice and Law wameallocatiwa 12% ya national government ni budget, sio? Kwa hii nyingine tukianza kuisoma, kuichambua, tujue imeallocatiwa 1%.
So we can say the 1% is okay because hizo sectors zake so 1% is okay. Siongeze sipunguzwe.
Hii 12 tuseme iongezwe ama siongezwe? Hii 12% iongezwe, yes.
Lakini unajua tukisema iongezwe itatoka wapi hiyo itaongeza? Lazima itatoka kwa jiji. Kwa jiji.
Oh, itoke huko sio? Itoke hapo hapo.
You see, you're prioritizing between
hizi mbili.
So, ukitoa hapa lazima uweke hapa. Ukiweka hapa lazima utoe hapa. Because nobody in the other tables will give us. Ni kwa nini tuna
Why do we increase? Why do you want to increase?
Why? Kwa sababu ukiangalia various MDS ambazo iko kwa GLO, there's something that have been going slow.
Kama gani hasa?
Kwa mfano kama IBC. IBC needed a lot of funding so that we synergize hii mambo election on time rather than kama ile ilikuwa ile kwa sababu walikuwa hawana time. So there's some things ambazo zilikuwa zinahitaji a lot of money.
In these forums, the main question under discussion was the share of the budget that should go to sectors like education, health, security, and so on. As part of the deliberations, participants were divided into small groups to stimulate further discussion about the upcoming budget, take note of the government's proposal, and come up with their own allocations to the various sectors within the national budget.
Education ilikuwa imepewa ngapi? Kitambo ilikuwa imepewa ngapi? 20. Ilikuwa 20.
Because actually what we propose is
it 20 or 5? 20. Sasa hii tupatie ngapi?
You know what we are doing? Like what we propose, that is what they will push to be done. So if we stick by what the government has been doing, pia hata sisi tutakuwa like tumejifinya sana. So we need to like kuweka juu, especially sisi asal areas.
Toka 15.
15. Sawa.
Why do we feel as Isiolo County?
Why do we
feel like we need 15 rather than the government? What was the government? 7% of the government. It is because for one, as we want like a lot of improvement in our schools.
Public administration, internal relations, international relations. Each weke 8, sio?
Weke 8 hapo.
Weka 8.
And the reason anasema hapa hatuwezi weka yote.
Reason.
You know, we need to have that good nature.
Border relations.
Border relations, yeah.
Twende kwa social protection. Alikuwa mpatiwa 3, tuweke 10.
Sasa nabakisha pesa ngapi? Wakisha 10. Haya, nabaki sasa 10. Hapo sasa waka 15. Waka 15 hapo alafu education. Hapo ongeza tena kwa education.
Hapo na 15 wapi hapo kwanza? Usituambie.
Health. Nimebaki 5. Waka 20 education. 20 hapa. Ndio hiyo. Education.
somebody can take us through the first, the agricultural and rural nini?
Na hiyo nyingine environment. Tukawa tumeamua tuchambue zote mbili. Ni ipi ambayo tunaweza kuipatia kipaumbele ama pesa nyingi na ni kwa nini? Hizo keti zote tumeona kile kitu ambacho tunaweza patia pesa nyingi ni environment sector. Kwa sababu gani? Kitu cha kwanza tumesema kwamba environment ikiwa improved, hii agriculture itafanya. Tukimalizia tukasema kwamba sekta hizo ndio zote 10 zote zinaenda environment. Maana kama ni upande wa energy, kama ni upande wa health, kama ni wapi, yote inaenda environment.
Wote mnasema ipo percentage za ngapi?
Kama 10%.
Agriculture kwenda kwa education. So on education, kitu ambao tumeangalia, tumesema wacha tuangalie the reality of things vile zimekaa. Je, absorption rate yake imekuwa vipi? So tukaenda page 44, tukaangalia table ya absorption. Kiangalia page ya absorption, kiangalia katika hizo departments zote 4, there are 4 departments pale chini. Kiziangalia zote 4, all the departments are above 3/4. They are above 3/4, meaning in terms of absorption, na ile shughuli ambayo wanafaa kufanya wanafanya kazi nzuri. Tukasema wacha tuangalie shida mahali ambapo ilipo sana. Sasa shida ikaja kuangukia page 42, ambayo ukiangalia hapo kwa hiyo nini chart ya kwanza, Teacher Service Commission, umeangalia juu kuna mahali imeandikwa vizuri governance and standards, lakini ukiangalia governance and standards, ukiangalia kwa nini inakupatia 0.1, kumaanisha shida iko wapi? Shida inalai pale. Tulipoenda page 11 ambayo ina another chart kama hiyo inasema 2018-2019 huo mwaka unakuja wameongeza by 3%. Meaning kwa hivyo lile jambo ambalo tulikuwa tunaangalia kusema kwamba elimu iongezewe iende juu ni kwamba imeongezwa. Kwa hivyo imeongezwa by 3%. Tukasema hilo jambo ni zuri. Kwa hivyo tukasema education as according to us kwa ile meza yetu it is taken care of. The next sector ambao ni public administrations and international relations ama jina PAIR, ambayo imebeba nchi nzima, pia inafaa kuongezewa, ipewe kipaumbele kuongezewa. Na tuliposema iongezewe tukasema turudi pale katika ile pie chart yetu pale mwanzo, tuangalie je serikali wamefanya hivyo. Ni kwamba wameongezewa 2%, sasa ni 15%, wameongezewa by 15% projected, ile ambayo ni project page 11. Kwa hivyo tukasema then we are also okay with this energy and infrastructure. Next, energy ilikuwa iko 32 historically, alafu ikashuka in short 28. Sawa. Kwa hivyo ikawa imepungua by 4. Sisi tuwasemaje?
Kwa sasa tuseme ipungue iende 25.
Mimi niliacha at 30. Yaani tu kwa maoni yangu.
Mimi nilikuwa nasema hivyo. Unaona allocation ya ICT. Kwa mfano ICT anaongea kwa ICT. When you allocate funds for something like ICT, the previous year was allocated the same amount. It has to reduce. Kwa sababu unapo ICT it means kuileta na connect. So it is there to serve. The only thing ambayo inabakia pale ni maintenance. Kwa sababu ni maintenance, lazima pesa itakuwa imeshuka. Huwezi sema iongezeke. Ile unahitaji ushaipata.
Nataka tupate figa mbili. Ndio sasa kila mtu hapa niambie, sio average, naambia kila mtu aandike ile figa anaona ni sawa. Alafu tunazihesabu. Sawa. Inatupatia hiyo
kuna 35, 25, 32 and 30. So tumekuja 28. Imebaki pale tu.
Let's have the health sector.
I love this.
Kwa hivyo baki hapo 4.
Imebaki 4 lakini at least
Proposal yetu tumepiga paka 30%.
Can you be realistic, please?
No, it can happen. That's how it is. That was personal. In fact, I think we discussed.
Withdrawn, sure.
Yeah, withdrawn. I would give it 1%.
Nilikuwa nasema yetu hiyo 4%.
4%. Nasema 4. Should I do 4? I'm asking also 4.
Governance and justice.
29.
For governance.
Sasa hiyo pia ni kama ile nyingine la rais ile. Pia ni kubwa sana. Iko na MDAs, 14, iko na semi-autonomous governance agencies 20 na tribunal 15. Iko 12%.
Sasa
tukapropose iongezwe hata uangalie ifike 15.
Inguzwe sisi tuone
can we agree can we have 15?
Ndio show high.
10 no.
Mimi nasema 10.
We want to but 10.
Sasa tupeni masikio wa agriculture.
Tumeona kuna vile zinaitamari na tukasema agriculture ndio ute wa mgongo wa nchi yoyote ile, kwa sababu kama hakuna food security mambo mengi inatokea. Lakini sasa tukija ile allocation kabisa katika national government tumepewa katika agriculture imepewa 3%. 3% sisi tumesema 3% tabaki pale. Na sababu gani tumesema 3% tabaki pale pale? Kwa sababu tulikuwa tumepewa agriculture na environment, tukaona hizi mbili zina mada zinaoana na kuona kwake ni vipi. Environment imepewa 5% katika national government, but we wish environment ipewe kipaumbele. Environment ikiongezwa, agriculture itakuwa boosted. Na agriculture kwa boosted kutakuwa na food security. Kutakuwa na yani mapato na mapato yakizidi umaskini utapungua. Na kitu nyingine tukaona pia health itakuwa affected. Magonjwa yatapungua kwa sababu ya chakula kitakuwa kingi. Magonjwa ikipungua, hospitali yetu hata yatakuwa hayana kazi nyingi.
Under education we have 4 departments, namely Department for University Education, the TSC, Department for Vocational and Technical Training, Department for Basic Education ambayo inadili na pre-primary and secondary. So tumeona inafaa iongezewe percentage kidogo kwa sababu kuna inadequate teachers for adult education. Tuna per capita funding of pupils in primary education is not adequate to cover the costs that keep poor children out of school. With the increase of enrollment of pupils, there is need to expand and rehabilitate existing physical facilities in both primary and secondary schools. Duplication of capital projects across uncoordinated funding streams, poor construction standards, and inadequate maintenance compounded by different independent monitors. That is my deduction, education.
Energy, infrastructure and ICT. So kwenye mjadala wetu tuliokuwa nao na kulingana na pesa budget ya 2016-2017 yenye tulipewa, tuliona hiyo yote wanapewa like 529 billion to cater for this 9 MDAs. So tukaona pesa si mbaya kiwao, na as per the chart tukiangalia page 38 ya infrastructure ndio imechukua a bigger share, followed by energy na transport. So about the pesa tuliona iko sawa, inafuata kama ikipewa ingekuwa ni challenge iongezwe, at least in hizi sectors zipate nguzo ama kipewe kipaumbele to fight this challenges zenye zitakuweza kurais hapa na pale, na hiyo ndio kitu tulikuja nayo.
IBP-K also tested the implications of having one homogeneous group comprised of women only. The aim was to see how this actually changes the conversation and decision-making.
Tuanze na health, ni that. The health sector consists of the Ministry of Health and several semi-autonomous agencies. NHIF is under health sector. How does it work? Because I understand NHIF si huwa tunalipa.
NHIF cover, lately it was advanced. If you've been there, so it was lately advanced. In such a case that now it covers, even for surgeries, it does cover for surgeries, of which in the past it never used to cover. So it's of help.
Katika hizi mbili zipi ambazo tutaipea pesa nyingi?
Lakini hatuwezi setwa hiyo decision kabla tujasoma. The allied sector consists of 5 MBAs. Below is a table showing the MBAs and the programs in each MBA together with the recent allocations. The first MBA, State Department of Agriculture. Iko na General Administration and Planning and Support Services, Crop Development and Management, Agribusiness and Information Management. The first one is blank and it's been given 21. And that is ya pili ni 3, ya tatu 17, ya nne 1.
Simple because once the environment is
improving environment, improving agriculture. Improving agriculture is equals to improving social security, and improving social security is equals to improving physical security. Improving physical security is equals to happy Kenya.
Chengine, environment ikiwa nzuri, agriculture itaenda juu, na hivi hatutakuwa na kuimport vitu vingi mambo ya debt, itapungua debt itapungua.
Sisi tumeconcentrate sana na ile like the highest sector even, but the lowest one is
Mimi naona all the sectors zote zinaenda under environment. Maanake is all the 10 sectors haziwezi fanyika kama environment haiko. So tuna support kwamba iwe juu pesa yake kwa sababu gani? All the sectors, all other 10 sectors zote they depend on environment.
Now we are making the final decision, but it's going to be a final decision ambayo nataka bado tujadiliane na tukubaliane vile tutafanya hiyo final decision. Agriculture, rural and urban development. How much do you want to allocate to this one?
5.
Mwalimu amesema 5%. Why 5%?
Kenya, the backbone of our economy is agriculture, and it should be looked into keenly and given enough funds, because every Kenyan in one way or another involves himself in agriculture, meaning the government should look at this, all us should look at agriculture as the first thing in when allocating budget.
The next sector is education. How much do you allocate to this sector and why?
As far as education is concerned, I may feel that an addition, according to the government proposal here, we need an addition for education sector. One, education sector has been with a lot of demonstration of teachers, enough salaries, the bursaries for our children. So this sector is a key sector when it comes to a common money. It should be allocated 25%.
25%.
We say it is 25 because we need to employ about 15 to 20,000 teachers.
New teachers.
New teachers.
because there are others who are going away, retiring. Then there's logistics. That's the education office under the TSC level.
Okay.
So there are changes of curricula, which also need money.
So those are emerging issues.
Those are the emerging issues. So 25 is actually the best.
So compared to the government proposal, you are pushing it just a little up.
Just a little bit down.
Okay. Is anyone convinced to increase from 20 to something above that based on their argument?
You know, if you came to 20%, it's like 340 billion Kenyan shillings, which is not even enough. So I think 25 is, I agree with 25.
No, elimu tunakubali because unajua iko na mambo mengi.
Kwa hivyo iende tu
security mambo hii unasikia hapa
ni education.
Huwezi kukuta watu wale wanasoma wakiwa na pepa mabunduki. So masomo iongezwe hata zaidi ya hiyo.
Kwa hivyo 25 imekubalika.
4%. Okay, health. How much should we allocate to health and why?
The percentage left at the federal government largely has been put to creative care. Meaning, they want to focus on treating than preventing. We would want to suggest, we want to discuss a preventive care. Okay. In this case, other than the creative care, because the creative care creates a room for manufacturers who are very senior people in this country to manufacture medicine and damn, even substandard to a health sector that has got problems. So we would want to see, even if we have to increase the health sector a little bit, but it has to be on the preventive.
So basically what you're suggesting, if I get you right,
yes,
is that what needs to happen is a movement in the money within the sector.
Within the sector.
Itoke kwa curative, iende kwa preventive.
For preventive. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you want to keep it at what percentage?
I retain it. Where it is.
Mimi nikiangalia mambo ya health, vile wamesema hapa tuwe 10, mimi ningesema imelipwa kwa sababu gani? Government inadeal na national referrals. Na hizi zingine kuanzia sub county mpaka community health facility inadeal na counties. So ningesema hiyo.
I will not be convinced by the rest of whatever they are talking about, because when we were arriving to 10%, we had looked at the researchers like Cambridge. We have also government trainings. Before we get a doctor, they have to pass through trainings, and those trainings they need money. So we looked at the MDAs when we were coming to that decision. So I don't think we should just rely on the issue of healthy ministry only, but we have to look under the ministry what happens within.
I think for the rest of the groups, the discussion is that these are policy, there's a lot of policy happening at that level, and there's the role that the national government has to play on national referral facilities. On their side, they are saying there are certain things even within the national government functions that need to be increased. Research like Cambridge, KMTC, and the rest of the places. The question for me would be, based on the reasons that they've given, basically what they're asking for is for the budget to be doubled times 2 plus another half. So the question would be, is that a reasonable allocation for the concerns they've raised, or is there a more realistic one that we can all agree as a group?
Let me take this time and ask you, how long?
Increase, I think we can go up to 12 only. Does it mean that there is no money, so we drop it?
Yes. No. The one thing you always have to do is that the government does not have enough money for all the things you want. The reason why we are going through this process is because you have come up with but we have to make a decision about little resources for very many needs.
The issues of health
we do not need to go to the hospitals. We go to the hospitals because we do not take care of ourselves. And that can be taken care of closely by dealing with the issues of environmental protection, which comes across through health, again through eating good food, which goes through agriculture, which has a budget, again during our recreation time, down number 10, when we do some recreation activities, then we will not have this heart fevers, heart what. Then we need to reduce the budget. They need to understand it cuts across, so there's some budget which can cast across all this.
Hata mwisho unafanya wanataka 10%. How many want to go 4%? 4%.
Mbona watafuta kate? Mbona watafuta ni?
Which sector do we go to next? National security. How much money do you suggest to be allocated to national security?
With them, they are using their money very well.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are okay with a slight increase?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
This one seems to be one of those ones which will come to a consensus. Okay, 9. Okay. Governance, justice, law and order. This is a very big sector. I am mnataka governance, justice, law and order ipatiwe pesa ngapi? What is your suggestion? Wabaki tu hapo. Energy, infrastructure and ICT. How much do you want to allocate to this sector?
Wacha niseme ya kwamba kwa sababu sekta hii ni sekta ambayo inakuwa sana kwa kasi. Ukikuja kuelewa utakuta ya kwamba kuna uvumbuzi mwingi ambao unaendelea kufanyika, na ili tuweze kuharakisha ni vyema tuwape rasilimali ambayo itawasaidia kuwasukuma, tusije tena tukasalia kule nyuma tukaelezwa ya kwamba ilisimama kwa sababu fedha zilikuwa hapa. Kwa hivyo kwangu mimi wacha tuwaongeze, lakini
unataka kuwapa ngapi?
Nikiwaongeza asilimia kama 2.
Social protection, culture and recreation.
Yes.
How much do you want to allocate to this?
I want 5%.
So you want to increase the sector's allocation to 5%?
5%.
5%?
Yes, because of even the number of PWDs and OBDs which is increasing.
Okay. And more are being registered.
Yes.
This is also about registration. Okay? Public administration and international relations. How much do you want to allocate to this? 5. Environment, protection, water and natural resources. We have only 2% of the budget remaining. You want to give it 1-1? So, are we in agreement?
Agriculture.
That we move 4%
from agriculture
to water and resources.
Yes.
And leave agriculture with 5.
Yes.
And then keep education at 25 and general economic at 1.
Yes.
So it becomes 5.
Is there anyone in disagreement? This is where now minority also have a voice.
Tumefunzwa hapa, hatukuwa tunajua hapo mbeleni. Kwa hivyo leo tumefahamu mambo mingi na tumejua zaidi, kwanza mambo ya devolution, mambo ya budget ya serikali ya national hatujawahi kuona. Mimi mwenyewe sijawahi kuattend katika participate katika budget yoyote ya national government, lakini kwa leo vile wanapanga na vile inafanywa tumeiona.
Not many of us knew about the budget making processes and what it entails in the national government budget.
Na baada ya mafundisho nimeweza kujua mpangilio wa serikali wanapopanga kuhusu fedha zetu.
As a business person, it will help me because in the informal sector, not very many people are enlightened about the budget. Not many people think that the budget affects them either positively or negatively. But from what I've learned today, the budget affects us wholesomely in the sense that as a Kenyan, every aspect, every sector, you're involved in every sector. So it is important even for us to be able to know what is happening in other sectors because you never know where you might end up.
The interaction, the sessions were very good because we did not have a lot of facilitation. It was among ourselves learning how to go about it. Now we've also learned the challenges people go in between in terms of balancing the percentages within the different sectors for them to be having, for them to have funds across the board.
Na ile budget inapokuwa inatengezwa, mwananchi maoni yake achukuliwe kwa uzito, manake yeye ndio taxpayer. Akishasema nataka project fulani ifanywe, serikali ikubali kwamba mwananchi ule aandike proposal na serikali ipokee ile proposal na CC kwa kila sekta ambayo inahusika kama vile ofisi ya rais, ofisi ya chief, ofisi ya mzee wa mtaa, mzee wa nyumba 10 na kila mwananchi pia amepata ile copy ili mradi siku ile tutasema siku fulani tuliomba kitu fulani kama wananchi wawe na document ya kuprove ya kwamba waliomba pesa. Maana mara nyingi unakuta unaambiwa budget ilikuwa allocated na pesa zimerudi.
I think these 3 workshops have been an eye opener for me, and today, because it's the most recent one in my memory, has been a forum that has made me feel like I'm not delusional for thinking Kenyans are actually deliberators, that some Kenyans actually have reasons for their proposals, and if given the opportunity to have a forum that is well organized, they'll actually give them.
While participants found the material challenging, these forums demonstrated that members of the public can learn about complex ideas of the budget, can find value in government proposals while disagreeing with them, can deliberate more effectively after learning, and can deepen their appreciation of the annual budget process. IBP Kenya, open budgets transform lives.